Now here we are dealing with our environment. Okay, so basically what is the environment? Environment is place around us or place where we live is called the environment. Now in environment we have a term that is habitat. Habitat means the place in the ecosystem where an organism lives. Okay, that is, for example, fish lives in water. So what is the habitat? It is aquatic habitat, because basically our organisms has been divided into terrestrial animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals that live in water are known as aquatic. Okay, organisms that live on the tree are arboreal. Organisms that live in burrow are fossorial. So like that there are different habitat. That means in one word it is a place where the organism lives in the ecosystem is called a place where the in the ecosystem where the organism lives is called a habitat. So basically what is an ecosystem then? A ecosystem, it is a closed system of environment. It is a closed system of environment where the organism lives in a perfect balance, interacting with the biotic and the abiotic factor. So what is a biotic factor? The living factor is known as a biotic factor, and the non-living factor is known as a non-biotic factor. Now this is the ecosystem. This is a natural way, is a living place for not only human being, it is a living place for millions and millions of uncountable organisms, whether it may be in the form of animals, it may be of plant, both microscopic and macroscopic. Now basically it is we human being who simply pollute the natural environment by producing waste. What is waste? Anything that is not useful for human need is termed as waste. Okay, so this waste material can be divided into two categories. One is the biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable waste, for example, your dead plants, leaves, roots, vegetable peel, these are known as biodegradable. That means what? These things that go back into nature. Okay, and non-biodegradable waste is a great concern for all environmentalists today. Why? Because this non-biodegradable waste, for example, your plastic, your electronic junk, your used cell phone, which is no longer for use, your used computer, your laptops, your remote, your switches, your plugs, your batteries, these considered to be as a non-biodegradable waste. And these non-biodegradable waste, if it do not destroy over a long period of time, it is a threat to the environment. It is not only a threat for human being, it is also a threat for all the living organisms. For example, you see the sea, the water body, they are littered with so many plastic water bottles. So these plastics, chips packets or biscuits packets, whatever the packet food, if it is thrown in the sea or in the ocean, it goes to the ocean bottom, and it goes and chokes the digestive system of so many animals, the tortoise, the fish, the whales. These are all at a threat from these non-biodegradable substances. So it is our concern to use the waste wisely. Okay. Network of food chain, and basically food chain is a method by which the energy transferred from producers to the consumers and finally back to the environment. This is the food chain. And when this chain become, for example, grass, grasshopper, then frog, then snake, okay, and then the peacock. So peacock comes to the top carnivores. So basically we have few terms. One is the producers, the consumers, and the decomposer. So who are producers? Producers basically all green plants that can trap the solar energy. In our universe, only the solar energy is the a source of energy which can which is useful for sustaining the life on earth. So no other energy sources is as vivid as the sun. So sun is the ultimate source. So organisms that can take energy directly from the sun are called producers. For example, all green plants. Then organism that take energy from the producers we consume. So we are known as consumers. Consumers can be termed as primary, secondary and tertiary. Primary means grass eating animal. Secondary means all, for example, secondary is the frog that consumes the primary consumer, and tertiary is the third one. For example, the snake that consumes this intermediate one. Okay, first, second and third, like that. Now, consumers can be again divided into herbivore, carnivore, omnivore, detrivore. What is herbivore? Herbivore is herbaceous animal. That means grass eating animal. For example, the goat, the who directly consumes the green plant are known as herbivores. Carnivore, flesh eating animal. Omnivore, eating both the flesh as well as the plant. And detrivore is eating dead and decaying animal. So again here the decomposers is after this herbivore, carnivore, omnivore or the producers. Even the producers, when they die, they are decomposed and organic material are released back to the soil or back to the earth. Okay. Now here we have an energy pyramid. Energy pyramid is the just a graphical representation where the energy producers, then comes the primary consumer, secondary consumer and top consumer. Okay, so this is how. And biomagnification also, I had told you earlier also, biomagnification is, for example, if a poison or anything, see, it is consumed by a producer, then it keeps on magnifying as it goes to the top carnivore. For example, you spray DDT and the grasshoppers die. Grasshopper consumed by a frog. Frog is consumed by the snake. So, for example, grasshopper takes a little bit poison and it dies. A frog consumes 10 grasshopper. So, amount of poison or consumed by 10 grasshopper is in one frog. Then again, a snake eats 3 frog. That means the snake has the poison of 30 grasshopper. Now, a peacock eats a snake. So it has, for example, it eats 2 snakes. So at least it has accumulated the poison of 60 grasshopper. So this is how is known as a biomagnification. Then again we have the law of 10%. Now what is law of the 10%? It is law of 10%. It was formulated by Lindman. Okay, what did Lindman say? Lindman's law of 10% states that during the transfer of organic food, that means in the form of energy, from one trophic level to the next trophic level, only 10% of the organic matter is stored in the flesh and rest is lost, and the remaining is lost through transfer of broken down or in respiration. Okay, so you cannot consume that. Next comes the ozone layer. Now, ozone layer, that means ozone basically molecule, see, O2 molecule is formed by 2 nascent oxygen. In the presence of ultraviolet ray, we get oxygen. Now, this oxygen, again, when adds to oxygen, we get an O3 molecule, and this O3 molecule is responsible for filtering the ultraviolet ray from entering the Earth's atmosphere. This ultraviolet ray has got a very adverse effect on plants and animals. It is carcinogenic or cancer causing in nature. But this is filtered through the ozone layer, but the production of freon. Freon is the refrigerant coolant or cooling from ACs. When they are leaked to the atmosphere, they deplete the oxygen level, converts the O3 to O3 to O2, and one oxygen is released, and this creates a gap. So, it is very dangerous to our ecosystem. And finally, what is the main thing is managing the garbage production. So, garbage production management should be done and taken into consideration. For example, sewage treatment and proper management of the waste is very important for the control of the and cleaning of our environment.